Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the bullying, masculinity, bad problem. So men are seeing it in the front of the newspaper and they're hearing it on the news, and everywhere husbands say, my son is too aggressive and likes to play war. I'm going to teach him to wear a dress. That's in the news. And see, the men are feeling sorry for themselves and learning to be victims now of their own masculinity. And wait, so that's how it begins. Here it is.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get?
Pause again. Oh my gosh. The man shaves, the woman's kissing him. They're having a life together. He's handsome. It's bad.
But she says and there will be no going back.
And pause again. So the mainstream media told you how men are bad, told you we're going to end the family. And so things changed. Things changed, and there's no going back. And now you're going to look in the mirror like a zombie, and they're going to tell you how to behave. This is mass brainwashing. Continue. It's January 14th, 2019 on this Monday Global Edition. I'm your host, Alex Jones. And it's been said by many a historian and many a statesman that those that do not know history are doomed in a big way to repeat it. And that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now, when you study history, whether it's the ancient Asians or the ancient Africans or ancient Europeans or ancient Mesoamericans, every culture that got to be between 500 and 1,000 years old started sacrificing all of the biggest, smartest, strongest men. That's why they've dug up skeletons that are 15,000 years old in Mesoamerica, in Mexico, in Guatemala, in those areas in southern North America and in Central America, down into Peru. They've dug up skeletons, and the average height 15,000 years ago was about 6 feet tall. The average male there now is about 5'4". And you know what's funny? See, you think of humans getting bigger, only since our diets got better in the last 1,000 years. But before that, we were bigger and stronger. On average, a farm boy from Africa or from England was twice as strong as a man today. That's mainstream news, mainstream science. But you see, humans practice something that lions and tigers and bears, oh my, practice. And that's the killing of male offspring that appear to be larger, smarter, and more aggressive. And that's what's going on. Remember in the old Egyptian hieroglyphs, but it's also in the old Jewish text, that just like you see in the movie 10 Commandments, Pharaoh ordered every decade or so that every new child born that year that was a boy, every firstborn, that's ones they really worry about because every astronaut was a firstborn, always have higher IQs. It's just something genetic gets passed on. They're not sure. It's some kind of race consciousness memory. Every firstborn had to be killed. And so Moses got put in the basket and went down. Now, you can argue about the whole story itself, but the point is that went on in history. So let's fast forward. The Romans did it a little different. And so did Attila the Hun. And so did the Mongols. They killed every single person. The Mongols and Huns did. Men, women, children. The Romans would just kill the men down to age 10, 11, 12, 13. Because they knew the men would resist. So when you see the American Psychological Association last week saying men are inherently bad, masculinity is bad, when you see all of this, traditional masculinity deemed harmful by American Psychological Association, and then P&G, Procter & Gamble, challenges men to shave their toxic masculinity in Gillette ad, saying your facial hair is evil, and then showing men being bullies. Leftist French news calls for heterosexuality to be banned. It's already being taught on universities. Leftist groups celebrate the plunge in white fertility, saying being white is inherently bad. So I'm going to air this ad. For radio listeners, I'll start and stop it and narrate it, telling what's happening. But it shows masculinity and being strong as a trait of being a bully, of beating people up, and man-shaming men just for who we are, as if women don't do things, and as if we inherently should hate our species. You see it all. Let's depopulate the earth. It's a good thing fertility's down. That was in the New York Times 2 weeks ago. That humans are inherently bad. So to teach that, though, if they pick us off, let's say the men, then the heterosexuals, everybody with facial hair, other men have got to step in and, hey, fight with each other. But then the big men shipping in enslaved women on the border, they have the left bringing them things to aid them. Or if it's, the radical Islam, then the feminists all love it and open the borders up for them. Oh, you're just cutting women's genitals off and, putting them into sex slavery and doing all that. But it's okay. We're allied with you. We're just worried about mainly Western men and bullying them into submission so they're not masculine, so you can take over in this larger globalist plan. Then they'll get the Muslims next. So let's go to the Procter & Gamble piece here, ladies and gentlemen, which is the same old ritual of saying your best men are bad and then projecting onto folks that they're bullies. So here is the beginning of it.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the
Bullying, masculinity, bad problem. So men are seeing it in the front of the newspaper and they're hearing it on the news and everywhere. Husbands say, my son is too aggressive and likes to play war. I'm going to teach him to wear a dress. That's in the news. And see, the men are feeling sorry for themselves and learning to be victims now of their own masculinity. And wait. So that's how it begins. Here it is.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get?
Pause again. Oh my gosh. The man shaves, the woman's kissing him. They're having a life together. He's handsome. It's bad. Even Gillette's bad. And here's the young boys running through the movie projector of Gillette. Oh, we're going to put a dress on you. Let's go back to it. Continue.
Is it?
It's likely happening here in bullying.
Pause.
A problem.
Oh my gosh, they're calling some boy a freak. Some boy, we don't know why he's liberal. The right-wingers are bullying us when the left is the bully. Continue.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
It's been going on far too long. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy?
What I actually think she's trying to say.
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally changed.
All right, pause again. Oh, the Young Turks are going to teach us, funded by Gulf War dictator states, where they chop men heads off that are gay, where women that drive, period, can be put in prison or killed. And now we're going to hear from the Young Turks, named after a genocidal group that killed Christians. We're now going to learn from the Young Turks about how bad men are. This is the woman that says fat shaming's wrong, but called me a fat effer over and over again. So see, this is the total hypocrisy, total fraud, total lies of these people. We're just going through it. Continue.
Assault and sexual harassment.
But she says it's
And there will be no going back.
And pause again. So the mainstream media told you how men are bad, told you we're going to end the family. And so things changed. Things changed, and there's no going back. And now you're going to look in the mirror like a zombie, and they're going to tell you how to behave. This is mass brainwashing. Continue.
We believe in the best in men.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
Smile, sweetie.
Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Bro, not cool. Not cool.
Some already are.
Hit pause. So the Black Knight tells the person that's a little less black, but like white guys are bad. Ooh, you saw a hot girl go by. Don't go talk to her. Free association isn't allowed. Whoa, hey, you don't talk to women, buddy. Talking to them's bad. But if we want to put a 10-year-old drag kid who's autistic up on a stage dancing at a gay strip club with money getting thrown at him talking about ketamine, baby, it's okay. Continue.
In ways big
Yo, men, for everyone.
and small.
I am strong.
Hit pause again. We're going to come back and finish this and go to our next guest. But we're going to back it up some. You know the government on purpose paid black women not to have men in the house for the last 50, 60 years to destroy their families. So they're just going for broke now, and they have the nerve to show a black man with his daughter in this like the government and the media care about the black man. Welcome back. I'm Alex Jones, your host. We have seen the total declaration of war against the species, against women, against children, against men and women having relationships. Colleges have taught for years that all sex between a man and a woman is abuse. Traditionally masculine deemed harmful by the American Psychological Association. Procter & Gamble comes out with Gillette ads saying that every form of masculinity is evil, including a woman walking down the street who's attractive and a guy wants to talk to her. Pretty woman walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I'd like to meet. And another guy steps in front and says, whoa, you don't do that, not cool, not cool. Physical contact, that's illegal. Basically assault somebody so they don't do this. And then it goes into no more, we're not putting up with it. This is the same government that literally is working to break up our families, that paid inner city black women particularly not to have men in the house. LBJ's plan to break up their families and make them poor so he'd have, quote, the N-words voting Democrat for 100 years. These are real quotes. This is the diabolical, bring America against itself, man against woman, on and on and on. Woman against man, black against white, pure evil. Then we're going to go to our next guest. But this is the declaration of war by the biggest corporations, by the American Psychological Association, by the French media saying heterosexuality is bad, period. And that's what this ad says right here, right where we left off. Here it is.
Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Bro, not cool, not cool.
Some already are. In ways big
Yo, men, for everyone.
and small.
I am strong.
But some is not enough.
It's not how we treat each other, okay? Okay.
Because the boys watching today will be the men of tomorrow.
No, he won't be a man. He'll be a cuck of the state. 1 in 35,000 boys had autism 30 years ago. Now it's 1 in 28 in places like South Korea. Here it's 1 in 58. Boys aren't graduating college. There's a total war on men. 65% of college graduates are now women. And it's being done to remove men from the equation, just like the Romans would do when they would capture a country. It's incredible, ladies and gentlemen. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's pure evil. And we need to stand against this attempted takeover. CBD-rich hemp oil is totally organic, all natural, something God gave us, and it doesn't have THC in it, and it's totally legal in all 50 states. This is where everybody's going. This is what your body actually needs. There are so many different spectrums of this natural oil that comes from hemp, now legal and lawful in all 50 states, that you need to just go research it for yourself. Now, obviously, there's been a giant marijuana legalization craze that Soros has funded the last 10 years. I've not been involved in that. It's a huge bubble. This is not marijuana. There are hundreds of varieties of hemp. This is industrial hemp that has all the good attributes, but not the bad attributes that turn people into potheads in their basements, picking and eating their boogers. This is the good CBD from the organic hemp oil. And there are so many great products that you simply need to go to InfoWarsStore.com and link over to WashingtonsReserve.com, or simply go to WashingtonsReserve.com yourself to look at all the products, to read about the history and to see the facts for yourself. It's a 360 win. There are different CBD rich hemp oil extractions for many, many, many different uses. You owe it to yourself to go look at this for yourself and to also understand it helps fund the info war. People wonder why I haven't gotten into CBD oil. Well, because some of the stuff's got problems, some of it can get you high, and some of it can get you arrested. This is not that. Legal in all 50 states. It's from hemp, not marijuana. It's totally legal. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we can ship to all 50 states right now from the great website, Washington'sReserve.com.